Saturday is the Dubai World Cup day from Meydan. And a point of emphasis I want to make to anyone who's considering betting that card, I went back and watched what's called Super Saturday there, where they have a lot of major races, horses making their final preps. Now, there were 4 dirt races on this Super Saturday card at Meydan, and I thought this track was just unbelievably ridiculous inside speed favoring racetrack. Kind of reminded me of like one of those old Keeneland dirt tracks from the mid 90s and late 90s. I was expecting, to see Sinister Minister just gallop out and win by 20 or something. I mean, let's watch a few of these races here. Now, you're definitely going to want to keep this in mind if you plan on betting the card on Saturday from Dubai. These are things that you're going to want to watch for. But the first race, the first of the 4 dirt races on this card is called the Al Bastika. It's won by a 7-to-1 shot breaking from post position number 1 here named U.A.E Warrior. I'll run the tape here, but keep in mind he's 7-to-1. He's going to win this race.
This race, Super Saturday.
He's going to win this race by about 11 and a half lengths. I mean, this was a city block he won by. Watch how hard he's ridden coming out of the gate. He's got the red jacket there. I mean, there's about 6 or 7 jockeys in this race just riding the hair off these horses. And he's trying to get inside position. And you see he wins the race into the first turn. He's on the rail, which to me was just an obvious gold rail. There's a couple of elements. Look at this kickback here now. I mean, this is wicked kickback here. So there's a couple of elements that you need for a good inside speed bias dirt track. One, you need the rail to be the best footing, to offer the best footing, firmest ground. You had a couple of track records on this card, very fast times, but you also need some kickback that's tough for horses to take. You see this jockey out in front on U.A.E Warrior. He come prepared in case he didn't get the lead. He's wearing like a Darth Vader mask here. I mean, it was easier to see her winding it, but look at he's got a mask on him, like he's Darth Vader, a clear visor, like he's Ulf Samuelson or something, the hockey player. Anyway, he's in front. He got to the best part of the track. He's riding the rails. He's 7-to-1. You're going to see him draw off and win this race with disdainful ease. I mean, I think the margin was 11 or 12 lengths or something. We'll continue to watch, but I mean, look at how this field just fractures in behind him. I mean, this is just big, huge margins. That was a theme in all of these races, and a lot of it has to do with the kickback. If you're off the best ground or taking kickback, it's trouble on this track. And if you're doing both, it compounds itself. It is a lot of trouble. You see U.A.E Warrior, the 7-to-1 shot, galloping. The chart set 11 and a half lengths here. Huge, huge, huge margins between the rest of the horses. So, I mean, that was the Al Bastika, the first race. This horse here is actually entered in the U.A.E Derby. Unless you believe he's going to, I haven't handicapped the race yet, but I wouldn't touch that horse with a 10-foot pole if I didn't think he could get the lead in the rail again. But the kid who was on him here, the jockey with the Darth Vader mask, he rode a very, very good race. I mean, he looks like one of those European defensemen in the NHL with the visor. Anyway, moving along. Okay, we're on to the day's second race on dirt, second of the 4 major prep races on dirt. And this race is going to be won by the 4 Jordan Sport. He's an 11-to-1 shot. He's going to win this race by 7.5 lengths wire to wire according to the result chart. With that said, let's run it and watch. We'll see if he... You see, he got a good break, and he's being aggressively ridden and immediately goes to the inside. I mean, this is another good job by the kid here to get. I mean, right now, look at this kickback all through here. You can see the horse is resenting it, too. If this track is anything, if it's playing anything like this the World Cup card. It's going to be interesting, but you see here, this is an 11-to-1 shot out here. He's got the inside. He's got control of the race. He's in front. You see the riders in the back all going to heavy rides. You know, he really hasn't moved yet. And now he's going to draw off with, you know, total ease here. The margin is just widening. You got a horse up here trying to rally up the fence. The 8 looks like he's home. I mean, rail paths clearly offered the best footing. The kickback looked like it was just tough to take. Tough to take for the closers. Getting hit with that dirt in their eyes and, you know, their lungs and everything. Interesting thing about the World Cup, I don't think West Coast could lose on form, but he's got a wide draw on post 9. Thunder Snow is an interesting horse. We'll see him later. He's got the widest draw on post 10. But that. All right, moving along here to the third race. This race is, you see a 13-horse field. It's going to be won by a horse named Kim Bear, who's a 4-to-1 shot breaking from the rail post position 1. Without much further ado, we'll run this here. In this situation, the jockey's kind of got you can't beat the draw. You know, you're starting from the rail, and look at the aggressive tactics on the 13 here. I mean, they're riding. Look at these jockeys. I mean, they're riding for their life to try to get to the lead here. Try to cross over, get inside, and the rider at Kim Bear does a nice job. He's managed to take control of the inside here. He's just where you want to be, you know, inside speed. He's got the rail. The last 2 horses, you know, the 2 horses earlier in the day who got there, you know, drew off and won like great things. These horses out here are just trying to avoid the kickback. I mean, they could tuck in, but it looks like they're trying to keep their faces clean, you know, avoid the, you know, getting hit with all the dirt that's flying up. You see the 2 horses that were, the 1 and the 13, they're still going at it. I mean, this is a strong duel. This 13 has been under the gun the whole way. I mean, a jockey put him to an all-out drive coming out of the gate. He's still under an all-out drive. I mean, he's been under a ride every step of the way. Right here, actually, it looks like the 1's beat, but the chart says he wins. So he must shift out and come back around the 13. But he was, you know, he saved ground on the inside every bit of the way. The 13 was being extremely hard-ridden, and he did have to come back around it. But you see another winner for post position 1 had 2 wins. And a 3rd and a 4th at giant odds in this card. So that was the 3rd race. We'll watch the final one on this Super Saturday card right now. Okay, and this was the big one here. This is the Maktoum Challenge Round 3. It was the big one of the dirt races. You've got a bunch of horses that run in here. The ones that run well entered in the Dubai World Cup, taking on, you know, Baffert's West Coast for $10 million. The ones who did not run well in this race cut back to the Godolphin Mile. But this race was won by a horse named North America, who's breaking from post position 6 here. What got me very interested in this card was the final time of this race. It came back unbelievably fast in comparison to, you know, there were fast times all day. Like I said, a couple of records were broken, but, you know, this race broke California Chrome's track record, and you know, it just got me interested in this card. I wanted to see if North America, if there was some smoke and mirrors to this performance, or if it was, you know, a genuine performance. And in my opinion, obviously because of the bias, there were definitely smoke and mirrors, as you'll see here. But it was still an extremely fast race. I mean, track record breaking, you know, California Chrome's. Anyway, he's breaking from post 6. Got a good start and an aggressive ride. Cuts off the 5 a little bit, and now he's got the race won. I mean, for a 4-to-1 shot to get loose that easily is like, on this track, it's like Katie bar the doors. You see North America out there. Interestingly, Thunder Snow, this might have been just about as good as any performance all day from off the pace. He's the 2-horse here on the Godolphin Blue Jacket. He's been denied the rail. He's, kind of in here where he's getting his face dirty a little bit. I mean, I think he's taking a little kickback from there. We'll try to, maybe not too much, but I mean, he's in a stressful position here. He's in and among a wall of horses, to his inside and his outside. You see North America's just moving along real easily here. He's got his jockey here's got the European hockey player visor going on. Jockeys at Turfway Park used to, who complained about the kickback there, used to wear the visors like this. Anyway, you see Thunder Snow trying to push him. Thunder Snow actually beat him last time they ran. It was a pretty good race in the prep, but look how easy this horse is going on. And you got the Chilean horse, or the Chilean horse, running third. He broke from post position 1. He was a huge long shot in this race. You see the inside holding up okay in this race, but here goes North America, the 6. He's going to break the track record, I believe, in this performance. And the margins, note the margins between horses here. I mean, he's pumping his fist before the wire, long way to second, long way to third, fourth. There's huge gaps between these horses. Here comes a couple more. I mean, this was just staggering margins. 4-1 shot. North America took advantage of what was clearly an inside speed bias track, and a track that was producing just wicked kickback. Here we'll look at the chart for this race. You see North America 4-1. He won by 5 1/4 lengths. Over Thunder Snow was actually the odds-on favorite in the race. He kind of runs sneaky good. He was denied the rail. He might have gotten a little kickback there, not too much. Anyway, third place was beaten 9 lengths. You see in parentheses 5 1/4 and 3 3/4 to him. So he was third by 9. The fourth place finisher in what was a 12-horse field. The fourth place finisher in a 12-horse field was beaten 18 lengths. The fifth place finisher was beaten 26 1/2 lengths. I mean, imagine, you're running fifth, you're getting a little bit of a check, and you're beating more than half the field. You can beat 26 1/2. Sixth place, beaten 28 1/4. Seventh place was beaten 47 3/4 lengths. Was a 20-1 shot. This is a horse that Mike Smith is actually riding in the Godolphin Mile. The horse is shortening up to a mile, so Smith picking up a mount that got beat 47 3/4 lengths there. The 8th place finisher beaten 49. 9th place finisher was beaten 59 3/4. The 10th place finisher, 6-1, a Godolphin horse, was beaten 61 3/4. And 11th place was beaten 70 1/4 lengths. 12th place was beaten 89 1/4 lengths at 14-1 for you. See this trainer here, Saeed bin Saror. He trained Street Cry. He used to be Godolphin's main trainer. But anyway, I just thought that I would, I would emphasize to anyone who plans to bet these Dubai races on Saturday, pay attention to the track early on. You want to focus on, one, is the rail, a golden conveyor belt that's just carrying horses along. 2, the horses that are, caught in the wave of kickback, are they taking that kickback in and still running to their form? I mean, if a horse gets beat 15 lengths, and he should get beat 15 lengths, it's not it's nothing to take note of. But if a horse is, very competitive in the race on form, and he's taking, a sea of kickback, and he's getting, beat a city block when he should be right there, and you see that happen with a couple other horses in the race, I think you got to pay close attention to that throughout the card. So, and you know, maybe I don't know how well publicized this is, but I watched some other days too, and honestly, I mean, it wasn't quite as extreme as this, but I mean, it was a very inside speed favoring track. I mean, if you were a closer, you almost had to pull one of those like Calvin Burrell rides coming up inside of horses. So I mean, you don't want to be way off the rail. You don't want to be getting in a spot where you're going to get a ton of kickback, because the horses that seem to get hit by that kickback just it tends to make them not want to run, is what I've noticed from these races. So, but you know, track conditions can change, and you know, maybe they'll have the track where none of this will be an issue. But this is just something I wanted to bring to your attention in case you wanted to bet this card. Just keep an eye out on this as the dirt races run. I mean, it might be it's something that should impact your handicapping. And I know you know, people are going to say, don't you always do that when you go to the races? Well, I mean, this has the potential to be, you know, just a powerful extreme bias like you don't even see too often in American racing. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there. So people betting the card on Saturday, you know, just take a look at the early dirt races. Just monitor the rail, monitor horses taking kickback, and go from there. Anyway, thanks for watching.